So what do you mean by multi-paradigm programming language? So first of all, you need to know what is a paradigm. So what is a paradigm? A paradigm is nothing but a programming a way approach, an approach of solving a problem using a programming language. Okay. So
Okay.
this procedure-oriented programming is one type of paradigm. Okay. So what is a paradigm? It is a model or a design approach for writing
Way of
code.
approach.
Uh, Examples, the most popular programming paradigms nowadays that are used in the modern world are first procedure oriented. So this is in short called as POP. And second one is this is in short called as OOP, object oriented programming. Apart from these two, there are many other programming paradigms available. They came into existence before procedure oriented programming and object oriented programming, but they are not so popular as these two paradigms were popular, right? So coming to Python, Python follows both these approaches. So that means you may get a doubt, how can a programming language follow both the paradigms at the same time? This is the user will be given a flexible, or the programmer will be given a flexibility using which he can write your program in Python either using procedure oriented approach or object oriented programming approach, or even without using these two also directly you can write a code. So as we discussed earlier, always code is written inside functions if it is in C language, and code is written in methods if it is in Java. If there are
Sure.
no methods and classes, you cannot write any code in a Java program. Similarly, you cannot write any code if there are no functions in a C program. But coming to Python, it will allow you to write code without the necessity of using functions or classes. So directly you can start writing the code. It doesn't have any very standard structure like C language has a structure of C programming, right? So it doesn't follow any such structure. Directly from the first line itself, without using any symbols like braces, parentheses and all, you can start writing program in your Python. Okay. So that is why, because it follows both these approaches and even some other approaches also it will follow. There are some other paradigms called functional programming concept, so it will also follow that one. So it will allow you, but uh, most uh, most of the times we'll be following these two approaches. So you can write program without using any of these two programming approaches, or even using these two approaches. So first we'll start writing the programs without using any of these approaches. But to some extent we'll be using procedure oriented programming, because there will be some predefined functions that we'll be using even in a fundamental small basic program also we'll be using those predefined functions. So to some extent we'll be using procedure oriented programming. But overall, if you look at a program that you write, you'll not be defining any functions like you define a main function in C, and similarly main method in Java. So no need of defining any such main function or anything. So in your program, you have to save your program, Python program, by giving a file name. Just like you give a file name for a C file or a Java file, you have to give a file name. The extension is .py. So you have to save that file with .py extension. Okay. So once you save that file as .py extension and you start writing the code from the first line itself, your program execution begins from the first line of that file. But if you go for C and Java, the program execution will not begin from the first line. It is not necessary that it has to begin from the first line, right? So you'll be writing multiple classes in your Java program, but one of those classes will have the main method. but the main method may not be in the first class itself. It may be at the in the last class or even in between also. So depending on whether where you have defined the main method, in which class you have defined the main method, the program may start at the first line or second line or even at the uh, ending part of your program. Okay, so we have there is a restriction that the program always starts from the main method. Literally you can say that by typing the command for compiling for running your Java program. How do you run a Java program? By using a command called java space file name. That's it. So for compilation you will use java c command and file name dot java. So once you compile the program, then you run the program. So soon after you run the program, what you're doing is you're making a call to the main method. So you're making a call to the main method from outside your program. Once the main method is invoked from outside the program, then from the main method you will be calling other methods that are defined in your program, right? So this is how
Yes, sir.
your main your Java
Java.
program runs. Even in C also, you will be
Yes.
compiling your program first and then running the program. Soon after you run your program, what happens is the main function will be automatically called. Then
Yes.
the main function will call the other functions, right? But coming to Python, you will not have any such beginning part like main function in C and main method in Java. So the execution will start from the first line of the .py file that you create. Okay, so now I'll show you how to create a file first. So if you have installed Python on your system, uh, automatically the path will be set. Once you download and install Python, try to reinstall it second time. Even though it is installed properly, try to reinstall it second time. But when you try to install second time, instead of option for you, first time when you try to install, it will show you an option called install option. But second time when you try to install, it will show you an option called modify. So select modify and click next. Then you'll get some check boxes there. Add path to the environment variables. So you have to check that checkbox and then click next. Then automatically in the second time when you try to install, what will happen is the environment will variable will be created with that path for Python program. So you need not set the path as you do it in Java permanently by using set path or set class path command. If it is in command prompt, you will use a command set class path, or else you will define a path environment variable in your system environment variable and set the path to the bin directory of your Java installation. So that is what you do if it is in Java. But coming to Python, the simple installation is very simple. You install the downloaded software by double clicking on that, and now once the installation is completed, again you try to double click the same dump file, the Python dump software. Then this time instead of option coming as install, it will come for you as modify. So choose modify and then click next, and one more time next. Then it will show you some options with check boxes. There what you need to do is you have to check the checkbox with an option named as add path to environment variable. If you check that checkbox and click next and finish, then automatically the second time you when you clicked on that Python dump, what will happen is the path for the environment variable will be created for your Python programming. Then you can start creating your Python programs anywhere and store them anywhere on your computer, right? And use the command for Python. So now I'll show you. I've installed Python already on my system. Let me close this command prompt and open it again. So when you open this command prompt, to check whether the Python software is successfully installed or not, simply type the command Python and strike the enter key. Then you must get this interactive mode prompt. So when you get this three angular bracket symbol, it indicates that your Python is installed successfully. And look at the Python version. The Python version that is installed on my system is 3.8.2. Okay, uh, it will show you about other options also. Whether it is 32-bit or 6 to 64-bit, and the processor or the hardware configuration also, that will be shown there. So that is not relevant to us. So if you get this prompt, it means that Python is successfully installed on your system. So when you type this command, the command prompt or the console will enter into a mode called interactive mode. Interactive mode means generally your program will be interactive, but that interaction with your program will start only after you compile your program and then run your program. But here in Python, because Python is interpreted basically, it is not compiled like C and Java. It is only interpreted. So let us discuss about this compilation and interpretation after a while. Let me show this. Let me complete this, and then we'll get back to the discussion. So this is an interactive mode. In this interactive mode, your Python will work similar to a calculator. Or if you ask some question, it will answer to you. Question in the sense you cannot ask any general question, anything related to the program or calculations. Say now I'll give say 5 plus 3 here. Then it will give me back. It will respond back with 8. There is a statement called print statement or print function. It is a predefined function, just like you have printf in C language, which is used to display some text on the screen, right? So you have a function called print. You need not import any header files or anything, just like you do it in C. It is very simple. So I'll text a message like this: hello Python. So it will give me the output there. So you need not write the program in a separate file and save it with .py extension. Okay. So generally, how do you compile and run your C and Java program? You write a program in some file
Extensions.
and save it with .c extension if it is C, and save it with
C,
.java extension if it is Java program.
Java.
But coming to Python, it will allow you to write your Python program in two ways. One way is using this interactive mode directly. You need not create any file. You can write a single line of code and execute that code directly here. Or else, alternatively, if you want to write a lengthy program, you can create a .py file and save it somewhere in your folder anywhere on your computer. And from that folder here in the console, you can run the program. Okay. So to come out of this interactive mode, what you have to do is type Control plus Z on your keyboard and strike enter. Then you'll come back to your normal console. Okay. So I I'm storing all my Python files in a drive called D drive on my computer. So I'll go to D drive and I've created a folder called Python where I'm storing all my files. In that Python folder, I have another subfolder called Python. So there I am storing all my Python programs. So I'll go to that directory. And here, if I want to execute any Python program, what I have to do is the command is Python space filename dot py. Filename dot py. Okay. So this is what this is the command that is used to run your Python program. There are no two-step or three-step process to run your Python program because Python is only interpreted. Okay. So let me show you a sample execution of a simple Python program. So we have already opened a notepad file, right? So let me create this as a test.py. So I'm saving it in D drive Python, and Python has another subfolder called Python. So here I'm saving my file. So we are already into that directory in this command prompt. So what is the command to execute the program? Python space, the file name is test.py. So if I run this, will I get any output?
No, sir.
No output because I didn't write any code here. So for
Yes.
convenience, let us write a single line of code using a print statement. Let me print a hello message. and save this file. So get back to the command prompt. Now run the program. So this is how you get the output. Okay. Uh, so
Yes.
this is very simple to execute a Python program. So now let us come back to uh, interpretation and compilation. So what is the difference between a programming language that is compiled and that is uh, interpreted? So if you take C language, C is compiled. It is just compiled. And coming to Java, Java is both compiled and interpreted. But coming to Python, Python is interpreted. So what is the difference? So let me tell you the difference between compiled language and uh, interpreted language. When you compile a program, what happens is you'll write some tens or hundreds of lines of code in your source file. So what is a source file? If it is in C language, you'll write that program in a .c file, right? So that .c file is called as, generally called as a source file. Then when you compile that source file, you'll get another file called target file, which is called as an object file if it is in C language. So it will be having an extension. File extension will be .obj. Okay, a .obj file will be created. For example, you're creating a file called test.c in your C programming. Then when you compile it, you'll get a file called test.obj.
Yes.
Then this obj file is again executed by your hardware to get the actual output of your program, right? If it is in
Yes.
Java, what will happen is you'll have a, say for example, test.java file is there. Then when you compile it, so when you compile it, what will you get? You will get a test.class file. So this test.class file is again uh, sent to your hardware. Then this will generate the output for you. But this Java program is also interpreted.
Yes.
We'll not discuss about that interpretation in Java. Let us come back to Python. What happens when you compile your program is your program will be first checked. Generally, people say compiler is a software which will convert the high level language code that is written in either any high level language programming like C, Java. Python is also a high level programming language. So when you write a program in any high level language, and if a software converts that high level language code into a machine language code, then we say that software is a compiler. Okay, but apart from this conversion, the C compiler or even the Java compiler, what they do is they'll search for any syntax errors that you make in your program, right? So first they'll search for syntax errors. Syntax errors in the sense you have some rules and regulations, semantics and syntax. So in any programming language, if you take, they are just like a grammar that is part of any natural languages. You'll have English grammar and even Telugu language grammar is there, right? So just like what is grammar for any natural language, syntax and semantics are also same in any programming language. There are some set of rules and regulations, and there is a general format for writing a program. So you need to follow that format and structure, and you need to follow those rules and write the program. And if you make any mistakes in following these rules, that means you are violating these rules or semantics, then such rules, they are nothing but called as in programming as syntax and semantics. Hello. So what happens in a compiler is a compiler will take the entire program that you have written in high level language, and it will search first for any syntax or semantic errors in the entire file, starting from the first line till the last line. Say for example you have 10 number of lines in your C program. Then starting from the first line, each and every line will be checked for any syntax errors. So if there are no errors in the first line, then it will go to second line. Then if there are no errors in second line, third line. So in that way, until if there are any errors in every line, they must be corrected. And finally, until you correct all your syntax and semantic errors in your program code will not be compiled successfully. That means it will not be converted into high level language code, right? So that means your program code will be executed in a single go. It will not be done line by line. So entire program will be checked for errors from starting from the first line till the last line, and then after all the lines are uh, uh, completely not having any single error also, then only they will be executed at a single go. Then when they are executed, you will get some output on the screen. But coming to an interpreted language or an interpreted program, what an interpreter does is it will take the first line, it will search for any syntax errors, and if there are no errors, immediately that first line will be executed. It will not wait for the second line and third line to check their errors. Okay, so it will go and execute the first line, and then it will go and see for second line. If there are any errors in second line, then again it will highlight the user with that error, and if it is corrected, immediately that second line will be executed. That means execution of a program will be line by line, whereas in a interpreter. So that means an interpreter will do the execution of the program in a line by line manner, whereas a compiler, it will not execute the program in a line by line fashion. Instead, it will execute the complete program in a single go. So that is the fundamental difference between a compiled program and an interpreted program, or a compiled language or an interpreted language. Okay, so coming to
Yes.
Python is interpreted. So you'll see this meaning and realize this meaning when you try to execute any program. So you make any error in somewhere in the second or third line of your program, uh, you will be able to see the output of the first and second lines. Then an error will be generated. If you correct that error again, then the third line also will be executed. So there are errors in the fifth or sixth line. Up to fourth line, the program will be executed, and if you are printing anything on the screen, that will be printed well and good without any problem. But that is not the case in C. If there is error in the fifth line, even though there are no errors in the first four lines, the program will not be executed up to fourth line. Only after you complete all the error correction till the last line of your program, then only the program will be executed in a single go from the first line till the last line. Okay, so I hope you understood this difference between compilation and
Compile.
interpretation.
Yes.
Okay, so now let us get back to Python programming. Let us write simple programs. For a while, I'll leave the meeting and join the meeting. You stay back in the meeting.
Okay, sir.